Okay, welcome back. This is the second video in our 3-video series on how to overcome those stubborn bad habits and how to create and form new good habits that will change your life for the better. So think about for just a minute, what are the bad habits that are holding you back? What are your habits with money? Some people have an overspending habit. What are your habits with eating? Some people have an overeating habit. I used to have that myself. I was 20 pounds overweight and was able to lose it and keep it off. Maybe you can't seem to develop the good habit of exercise and using your body so that you can feel better and look better and just have more energy. Or maybe it's a serious habit with some type of addiction with, could be sex, could be a relationship thing where you keep attracting the wrong kind of people in your life and having the same kind of relationships. Or it could be a drug addiction, alcohol addiction. And I've had plenty of experience in those. So first, we form our habits in life, our habits of believing, thinking, and feeling, and acting. And then our habits create the results we get in our life. So if we have areas of our life that we're not happy with, in our relationships, in our money, in our careers, in our health and fitness, any serious area, and we're not getting the results we want, is because we have habits that are causing us to keep doing things in the same way that keep giving us the same result. And so that's why I created this series. If you're not familiar with me, my name is Mark Doohan, and I'm a former heroin addict, alcoholic, cigarette smoker. I used to be 20 pounds overweight. I lost that about almost 7 years ago, over 6 years ago, and have kept off those 20 pounds. So I know a lot about habits and really bad ones and hard ones to overcome, and I know about how to develop good habits. So let's get started on this second video, where in this video I'm going to teach you some really amazing methods and techniques for overcoming those bad habits. Some of the stuff that I used for some of the worst addictions. But first, if you have not watched the first video in this series, please go back and watch it. It will explain why we form our habits and how we form them and why we get stuck in them and they seem so hard to overcome. It's a really good short video worth your time. Please go view that first and then come back to this video. So before I give you several really powerful techniques, let's talk about and review how habits happen, the steps of a habit. The first thing that happens to us is something triggers us to want to do a behavior. And so when it's, for example, when we're having we're trying to develop a new exercise program and the alarm goes off in the morning and we're like, we're tired, right? And so we don't want to go exercise, and so it triggers us to do a bad thing, which is lay in bed and don't exercise. So a trigger is like the first step in going a bad habit or a good habit. And there's an old acronym, it's called HALT, which is said to put a halt to the progress of our forming a good habit. And that is whenever we get too hungry, too angry, too lonely, or too tired. Now, hungry can mean a craving, right, of any kind. Whenever we have a craving for something, that's a danger sign. Whenever we get angry, that's a danger sign because then we just don't care and we might go back to our bad habit. Say you're trying to quit smoking and all of a sudden you get angry and you just say, forget it, I'm just going to go smoke. Okay, so anger is dangerous. Loneliness. Whenever we just have loneliness, we want to fill that loneliness, we might fill it with overeating or with sex addiction or something like that. And so something that's not going to give us a benefit in the end. And then when we're too tired, we're more susceptible to fall into bad patterns or to be programmed to be falling into bad patterns. So something triggers us. That's the first step in falling into a bad habit. And so we want to address that. The second piece to the steps to a habit is that after we have this trigger, we have a choice. We can either react to that trigger, which is negative, or we can respond to that trigger. Again, back to the getting up in the morning and we want to go exercise, we hit the alarm and the trigger is, I want to lay in bed, I'm too tired. That's our trigger. And so we can react to the trigger and just fall into the negativity and just go back to sleep. Or we can respond in a positive way. We can say, you know what? I'm just going to jump out of bed and get started. I'm just going to jump out of bed and put on my workout clothes. That's all the farther I'm going to go and see if I can make myself work out. So we can react or respond. The next portion or the next step in the habit progression is reward. So we're going to get some type of reward or think we're going to get some type of reward. We can get an instant reward if we turn off the alarm in the morning when we're supposed to go work out and go back to sleep. It gives us this instant reward, we think, right? Or we can do a different reward. We can get up, get our workout clothes on, go work out, and have a really good reward. And we're going to be feeling good about what we did, that we actually overcame and we went and did the workout. And then the final step in the habit process is the outcome. The outcome we get from the reward or either the instant reward or the good reward or the bad reward. So if we stay in bed and don't go work out, we have regret. That's the outcome. We regret it. We stay overweight. We never get in shape. And over our lifetime, it causes us a lot of problems. And same with smoking, same with any habit. You get what I'm saying. So if we do force ourselves to get up, just put out the workout clothes, we put them on and we go work out, and then we get the outcome. We start developing that habit and we start feeling better. The outcome is, hey man, I feel good. So we have a trigger, we have a reaction or a response that we choose, we have a reward of some type, and we have the outcome. And so we always want to be focused on the outcome, what we want to happen. So that's the steps or the process of a habit. Let's talk about some really powerful techniques that can help you overcome your bad habits. Okay, so let's take a look at some techniques that are really powerful for changing bad habits, for overcoming bad habits. So the first one, it's just basically assessing those patterns, assessing your patterns and your beliefs behind those patterns. So what I did early on when I was overcoming alcohol addiction, heroin addiction, all those things, I would write down the unwanted outcome, right? What's the thing that's happening I don't want? Well, even though I'm intending not to use, I'm going and use. Even though I'm intending not to have a cigarette, I end up going having the cigarette. Well, what's the belief behind using or going having the cigarette or whatever the behavior is? So the core belief might be that it's going to make me feel better. I'm going to feel better. And then I would write down why that's a lie. Well, here's why it's a lie. It makes me feel better maybe initially, but I hate the regret, the remorse that comes with it. I hate the things that would happen afterwards. I hate the way I felt about myself. The truth is, it's a lie. It doesn't make me feel better. So I'd write down all those unwanted outcomes related to my habit, and then I would write down the beliefs behind it, that I thought it would make me better, I thought it would be good, I thought it would fill the need, and the truth was that it didn't. It actually harmed me. Then I made a separate list. And I would write down the desired outcome I want, that I would be able to do without this habit, that I would even hate the habit and not want to do it, and that I would have a new habit of doing something better. And then I write down the core belief behind that if I didn't do the bad habit, or if I overcame the bad habit and did a better good habit, the core belief was that my life would get better. And I'd write down, that is the truth, okay? And if I could just get past this thing, all the truth is, the core belief is my life will get better. And so I would write all those things down. So I'd have my unwanted list, unwanted outcomes, and the core belief behind them, why I thought that using or smoking cigarettes or overeating was going to fill a need and why that was a lie. Then I'd write down my desired outcomes related to my habits, what I really wanted to have, and then what that would do for me, what the belief is that would do for me, and why that was the truth. And then I would review it frequently. I'd keep it with me throughout the day and review it multiple times a day. So this is step one in overcoming a habit, because you're assessing your core beliefs, the truth. You're calling yourself out, so to speak, and you're becoming aware of the truth. Okay? Really important. So the next step in overcoming bad habits, or the next method I would use, is what I call the pain versus pleasure method. So what I would do is when I'd have a trigger that set off, oh man, I want to go use, oh, I want to go have a cigarette, or I want to go eat that extra snack, right? I'd have the trigger, and so I'd catch myself, and instead of reacting, I would respond. And I would start thinking of the pain that caused in my life. I'd think, man, if I go have that cigarette, my lungs are going to hurt because they have been hurting. I was smoking so much when I quit, almost 2 packs a day, my lungs hurt. I was just like, wow, it's causing me pain. It could probably give me cancer. I look at pictures of people with lungs with cancer in it. I'd do anything to associate pain with that trigger, okay? And then I would do the opposite, and I would associate pleasure with the desired outcome. So then I would see myself not as a non-smoker. I'd see myself not smoking and how much better my lungs felt, how healthier I felt, how I was more attractive to other people, how just my life felt better, and how I saved money of not buying cigarettes. Or if it was the drugs, I'd come up with those same pain and pleasure. With drugs and alcohol, for me, it was a lot of pain. And so I would think of all the worst things that happened to me while I was drugging and drinking, and the embarrassing things and the horrible things I did, and I would associate death and pain and suffering with using. And then I would associate pleasure with staying clean and sober. I'd be going, wow, if I can just stay clean and sober, my life can get better. Even if I was going through a hard time, I would imagine the ideal outcome, the pleasure of what it would be ultimately. So the pain and pleasure method, you associate pain with the trigger. So you have a trigger that's triggering a bad behavior or a thought process, and you want to associate pain with it, okay, with doing the bad activity, the bad habit. And you want to associate pleasure, all the pleasure you can, with doing the new good habit. And then the third tip or method I'm going to give you today is to use imagination and feeling. So if you're familiar with the law of attraction or the law of vibration, imagination and feelings are super powerful. I'm a huge believer, and I've had a lot of success with law of attraction. And so for me, I didn't realize this is what I was doing, but even the pain and pleasure exercise was visualizing in a sense, right? But what I would do also when I was overcoming a bad habit and developing a good habit, I would, before I went to bed at night or in the morning or both, I would imagine the new behavior, the new life that I had with feelings, okay? So I would imagine how awesome, how amazing it was going to be, and I would feel like it was already real, already, and all the benefits that were happening. So I was using imagination and feeling as well. So those are the three really powerful techniques and methods that I used to begin with, and there's a couple more that are really powerful, but I'm going to share those in the next video, the third video in this series, that's going to be on how to form good habits, which you'll see some familiar topics we've already talked about, but you'll see the two key elements that are really the key to overcoming bad habits. They're critically important, and they're critically important to forming the good habits, but these will get you started, okay? So again, if you haven't watched the first video in this series on how to overcome bad habits and how to form really good habits, go back and watch it. Watch this video. If you liked it, please do me a favor, like this video and also subscribe to my channel if you like this information, and please share it with other people that could benefit from this information. I really appreciate it, and I know that this information can help a lot of people. It changed my life for sure. So we'll see you on the next video that'll be coming very shortly. And in the next video, we're going to talk about how to form really good habits, how to make yourself do it so that you can have the benefits of it. And we'll also incorporate a couple more things that help you on the overcoming bad habits. So look forward to seeing you on the next video, and we'll see you soon.